Vous avez repris la série des mains de Tony Moore, qui a été le premier dessinateur sur les 6 premiers fascicules de Walking Dead. Comment s'est passée justement cette transition? Comment avez-vous été amené à travailler sur cette série?
I mean, Robert and I knew each other before The Walking Dead. He'd published a book I had worked on with Joe Casey called Code Flesh originally, and that's how I first met him. So we knew each other vaguely from those days, and it was literally as simple as Robert sent me an email after Tony was obviously going to leave, asking me if I was interested in working on the book, and he shall we say, caught me in between jobs, and so I said yes, and that was it. It was as simple as that. For me personally, it wasn't that hard to take over, because I kind of figure that if they ask me to work on a book, anybody, any publisher, they like what I do, they like my artwork. They're not going to get me to draw like somebody else, because then they should ask somebody else who draws similar to that person. So I just went in and did what I did on the book as I would have done if I'd have taken over, I don't know, something like Spider-Man or something. I think it was harder for the fans, though, to accept me, because obviously the only visual reference they had before I took over was Tony Moore's characters. It wasn't like I was taking over a well-established character that had many, many artistic teams, many different writers, different artists, and people are used to change. The fans of The Walking Dead, albeit a very small group at the time, weren't used to change. So, I had, even though personally it was easy enough for me just to carry on, I think on the other hand it was really hard for the fans to accept this kind of quite radical change of artwork.
Vous ne connaissiez pas la série au moment où Robert Kirkman vous a proposé de la reprendre. Quelle a été votre impression lorsque vous l'avez découverte, lorsque vous avez découvert ces 6 premiers volumes?
No, I didn't know the series at all. I don't. I didn't read, and I still don't read, embarrassingly, that many comics. But it's The Walking Dead at the time, and I'm sure it still is a kind of a slow burner. But of course, once it grabs you, it grabs you. But it takes a few issues to really unleash its power on you, and that's what happened to me. And I was drawing it. The first script I read of Roberts, I thought, oh, this is fine.
C'est une série, donc évidemment, toutes les personnes ici savent que c'est une série qui traite de morts vivants et de zombies. Est-ce que vous étiez vous-même un amateur de zombies ou de films d'épouvante lorsque vous avez lu lorsque vous avez lu ces 6 premiers épisodes? Est-ce que justement ça vous a tout de suite touché parce que vous étiez vous-même un amateur?
It's also probably common knowledge that I'm not the world's biggest zombie fan. Having said that, I mean, it's not like I dislike zombies. It's just, I'm kind of fairly. I like zombies as much as I like vampires, as much as I like werewolves. I like horror movies as much as I like science fiction movies, as much as I like dramas. I'd like to think I'm a sponge, and I sort of like all sorts of, especially film, comics, TV, media, whatever. So, I mean, what kept me on the book initially was the fact that, obviously I was quick. The one thing I was quick to realise about The Walking Dead was it was actually a book that wasn't about zombies at all. It was a book about characters and about how they have to survive in a world, that just happens to be the zombie apocalypse, and about how they have to retain their humanity and themes like that, rather than just endless shots of zombies attacking people and ripping their various appendages off.
Alors sur le point de vue peut-être de l'esthétique, cette fois, donc la série, ce qui est assez atypique aussi, c'est une série qui est quand même assez atypique sur l'ensemble. C'est une série en noir et blanc, ce qui est assez atypique pour du comic book. Est-ce que le noir et blanc, donc, comment envisagez-vous ce travail sur le noir et blanc qui participe beaucoup de l'atmosphère, bien évidemment, de ce comic book? Alors comment vous travaillez, comment vous envisagez justement les contrastes, quel rôle joue ce noir et blanc dans votre manière de concevoir l'histoire graphiquement?
I always think in black and white when I'm drawing comics, and as anyone knows, my style, I'm very big on the heavy blacks anyway, so my artwork hopefully looks good in black and white. So when I've finished a page myself personally, I have to I have to like it. myself, and the only way to like it is it to be finished in my eyes without anything else added. So, you know, generally, so that to me is, if you could send away that page straight away to the printer, it would be printable. So for me, you know, it's finished as a black and white piece.
Vous devez être aussi pas mal sollicité finalement pour travailler sur d'autres séries ou d'autres titres. Alors, est-ce que c'est le cas, ou est-ce que vous concentrez toute votre attention sur Walking Dead, ou est-ce que vous avez des jardins secrets en fait que vous travaillez?
Yeah, there are projects certainly in the pipeline as well, and I'm very pleased to say there's at least 3 things at various stages of development, all for the European industry.